Episode 8 of MobLand, titled Helter Skelter, is absolutely insane. It's a 45-minute episode. It starts off where we see Conrad and Maeve mourning the loss of Brendan and how Conrad was very happy to finally have a son. He depicts the moment in kind of a interesting way of kind of really reminiscing about it, and just you see Maeve really giving forth in front that, yeah, he was our beloved son. Then we see Serafina make it back to London with the help of Harry after the craziness events of episode 7. And we see Serafina talking to Harry, Kevin, and Conrad. And basically we kind of see she gives a detail of what happened and what's going on. She doesn't understand how it happened. And then Maeve, being Maeve, comes in and kind of embraces her in a weird, interesting way. But you kind of know something is up, and it's really interesting. Then, Conrad asks Harry, how in the hell did you get Serafina out of there? And Harry utters the name Cat McAllister. And then Conrad and Kevin are like, how do you know Cat McAllister? What's going on? How do you know this? Conrad tells Kevin to leave, and then Conrad and Harry have a sit-down discussion and a talk, and we see that Cat reached out to Harry a few years ago, but Harry says, my allegiance is to you, Conrad. Whatever you need, I will always be there. And in a way, you see that kind of, Conrad, trusts Harry. Harry then figures out and calls Donnie, who is the go-between between getting to Cat. And then we see that Harry finds out that Eddie is sleeping with his daughter. Harry goes to confront Eddie, and it's like an insane scene. I just wanted Harry to punch the shit out of Eddie so bad, but he didn't. He kind of gave him a heart-to-heart, like, in a way, like, then he, like, you have to be the man now, if anything, I don't run my daughter's life, or whatever like that. And then, as he leaves, there's a knock on the door. He's like, you're the future. You'll be at the top. But be sure I will be there to push you off. It's like, okay, that's really fun and interesting. So all the while, after all of this family issues and happening, dealings and whatever's going on, kind of Conrad in a way uses Harry to, in a way, corner Jan, and kind of gets to Jan in a way, and Jan's like, yeah, I just went out to the bar and the pub, whatever it is, and Conrad's like, call Alice. It's like, what? No, call Alice. Jan obliges, calls Alice, and then, Conrad's like, hey, let's get together, let's know each other, and this and that. So it's like, okay, what is really going on? That's the insane thing about it. And we see the events unfolding like crazy. The interesting thing about this is that we are introduced to a new character in this show, 8 episodes in, and it's former Deputy Chief Inspector Colin Tattersall, played by the amazing Toby Jones. And it's like, between how Fisk and Mukasa are, figuring out their way of doing things and figuring things out. It's like, yeah, Tattersall was like, I know this, I know that, and it's like, all right, let's get to Richie, have him do this, because I know him from 1976. I put him away once, I put him away a second time, but he'll listen to me and he'll get to us. And then we see Harry talk to Freddy, Richie's right-hand man. And kind of Harry says something that builds on this aspect of, listen, Freddy, I know certain things, Richie's still alive, let's do this, let's do that. Given how Richie is certain ways, Freddy agrees to join Harry. But then, Freddy tells something to Harry. We don't know what that is. And then all of a sudden we see a body fall from the roof, hit the car. Freddy is dead. And it's like, well, but before Harry threw Freddy off, Harry did mention that somehow he knows Maeve and Richie are colluding with one another in a crazy turn of events. Then we get the interesting aspect where we see Bella, get a text from Antoine that she has to go away, and then Conrad's like, no, you don't do that. And then it's like, oh, okay. Bella goes in to comfort her husband Kevin. Bella leaves, and of course, Maeve is like, yeah, your sister Serafina says I'm my number one, this and that, da da da, so on and so forth. And it's like, okay, what is happening? And then Maeve is like, no, your other brother. It's like, wait a minute. So hold on here. Is Eddie actually like makes you think? Because before Bella met Kevin, she was with Conrad, and kind of was Bella pregnant at the time, and is Eddie Conrad's son? Like, that's also a big thing. Then we have another scene here where Kevin goes out to the nursing home to find out Mugsby kind of gets where he is and going. And then we have the ending where we see Fisk and Mukasa kind of speaking with Richie Stevenson, all the while intercut and edited into where we see Harry speaking with Kat. Harry goes to Kat and basically says that, listen, I wanted this, I want that, I want to broker a deal, whatever it is. Can you get a sit down with Jaime Lopez and Conrad? Kat's like, yeah, I can make that happen. What am I getting? Harry's like, you'll get 50% of everything. And Kat's like, yeah, okay, I'll do that. And then Kat's like, now you owe me 2 favors. And it's like, who is Kat McAllister? A lot of people have said CIA operative. There's a history between it. It could be a big connection family-wise between Harry and Kat, or is it MI5? Whatever it is, it's really, really interesting. And then we go back to Richie speaking with the 2 cops. And Richie, spoiler alert, ladies and gentlemen, if you didn't see episode 8, Richie just kills both of them right there in cold blood. Goes back out to his pump. We see Tattersall sitting right there, and we know that Richie has a pull on the cops. That's the end of the episode. 2 episodes left of this season. Absolutely fucking insane what's happening. And it's like, for a while there, this kind of had a Game of Thrones feel to it, where, the real rightful heir is Eddie in a weird way, because he kind of reminds me of Joffrey, and the whole aspect of that story was just weird. And I haven't seen a crazy character like that in a long time. You could compare the 2 if you want. Where is this going? What's happening? What's the aspect of Harry, Kat, who knows what, and what's the real truth? And does Kevin know that maybe Eddie isn't really his son, it's actually his brother? So many questions still left to be answered, and there's 2 episodes left in a 10 full episode season. Absolutely mind-blowing, brilliant, crazy. And if you don't like the show and you find it slow going, this and that, well, then that's a you problem, because myself and the masses who watch the show absolutely friggin' love it. Very curious to see how it all ends. I feel like this should be a one-off show. We don't need a second season. And it's going to be interesting to see how everything transpires and what the last 2 episodes will hold, especially the next one. Let me know in the comment section what you thought about episode 8 of MobLand. Did you like it? Did you not like it? What did you think of it? What did you think about the aspect of the story, the twists, the turns, the cat and mouse game, this whole introduction between Tattersall? Do you like a new character being introduced so late into a show or a season? And where do you see things going? And who do you think is the big villain in this show? Let me know in the comment section about all the questions I just asked. I'm Mr. Filmstock. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'll see you all in the next review video. And be sure you tune in next week to my episode 9 review of MobLand.